Hey everybody, I am back. I've been gone for about a month. Over the course of this month, there have been a lot of things happening. Getting myself ready to relocate to Tampa. As I've said prior to, I'm actually located in Troy, Alabama. That's about 400 miles away from Tampa, so it's a pretty big move. So I have to get ready to make that big move. I've never made a move like this before. I'm only 2 hours away from my hometown, so I'm actually going to move another 6 hours south just to pursue my dream. But over the course of this month, a lot of things have happened. I have had my financial aid at least ran. The only thing that I'm missing is my Graduate Plus loan, which will be ran in a couple of weeks. I have to redo my application for that, then they can apply all that, so I can make sure that I have enough funding for school. Because with financial aid, I did not know this, but with financial aid, when you go in law school, the school basically sets what they think you need to survive. That's your that's with your housing, any other costs, your tuition. They basically say, okay, this is what it's going to cost to go to this school, and this is what we think it's going to cost for you to live in this city that we're in. So they send that stuff into the federal government, and they do go back and look at it, and then they approve you for nothing more than whatever the school says that you need. So even if I was to go out and get a private loan, which I'm hoping and praying that I don't have to get, if it was beyond the amount that the school said, then the federal government would withdraw whatever amount is over from the funding that they've given me. So that's one thing to think about when you start doing the whole law school journey. The other thing that is happening, I did get an apartment. I'm in a student housing living situation, so it'll be myself, two other roommates. But the only one of the good things that came out of this is my rent would have been $1,200 to $1,300 just to go, almost $1,400 just to stay at the apartment that I wanted to originally stay at. Whereas now, although I'm having to share a kitchen and a living room, and I'm only basically paying for a room and a bathroom, my rent is basically cut in half. So my rent is roughly $700 a month, which is a whole lot better and a whole lot more affordable. And it actually includes all my utilities, cable, and everything. So I'm really happy about all that because that helps me be able to form a better budget as far as groceries, gas, insurance, different things like that. Just everyday things that I have to be able to live on a daily basis. So and then now I'm going to get into a question that I've been getting a lot. Why law school? Well, this goes back to 16 years ago, roughly. My younger brother passed. He was 6 years old. But one of the things I promised him before he passed was that I would help little kids that were just like him. So originally, I did want to be a police officer, but due to football injuries, the way my body has acted since those injuries and surgery, I was not able to pursue that. So I decided to go into law and still be able to help kids just like him. So I'm not exactly sure what area I'm going to really focus in on, but I do want to be involved with the ADA just to make sure that nobody is violating any federal statutes or laws that are in place to hurt people with disabilities. I want to make sure that everybody is able to have access to any and everything that they need. I want to make sure that nobody's being mistreated. So also looking into abuse and different things like that. So I want to be able to help those kids, but I'm not going to specialize in the type of law that's going to focus in on that. I'm actually going to have a general practice. So basically, I'm not going to specialize at all. Most attorneys will tell you not to specialize. That's because you're going to have to learn everything across the board anyway. So why would you want to specialize when you don't have to? So I'm going to do that, and once I get out and start practicing, then I can find the areas of law I really want to focus on and work in. But you don't have to specialize in law school. But it's a really good journey to take if that's what you want to do. One of the things that you do have to do when you're preparing to go to law school is make sure that you're registered through LSAC. LSAC, LSACT, is the website that you have to go to just to be able to submit your test scores, submit your resumes, transcript, everything that you need for law school has to go through lsac.org. So if you're looking into going to law school, you want to definitely go and run everything through lsac.org. Again, that's lsac.org. lsac.org. So I'm not sure if I said it wrong previously, but that's me correcting it. So, but you do want to make sure that you go through that and get everything set up there. Then you also want to check the scores that are required for the program or the school that you want to get into to make sure you have your GPA, and you also have the LSAT score. Me personally, I did look over some of the study material. It has absolutely nothing to do with law, but you definitely want to work on that stuff. Get something through. You can get a book through LSAC, and actually that book worked better for me than the ones from Kaplan or anywhere else. So that's just an option. But the next question I've been getting a lot is, why am I going to law school in Tampa? I'm going to law school in Tampa basically because that's the only place that I got accepted. This process has been long. I've been wanting to go to law school for quite some time now, and I started applying to law schools before I even graduated from Troy. That's my dog Bell. Her head popped up in the camera, but so through that process, there were a lot of different things that have happened over the past few years that slowed that process down. I did go through a time in life where I was engaged. The engagement was broken off, and the way that it broke off sent me in a downward spiral. So I did have depression. I wasn't motivated to even get out and do these things. So, what's a fly in here? With time, I did get back up on my feet through prayer and being focused on God and continue to push forward with the plan that He had for my life. So I was able to get back out here and pursue this. So now I'm here. When I did go back out and look, my test score was not the best. You want to make sure that you are competitive. So just look at the scores that are required for the schools you want to get in to make sure that you're within that area, within that median range. Not saying that if you're not in that median range that you cannot go to law school. That just betters your chances of being able to go. Look at the national average, different things like that. But when I went back to apply, the particular school that I'm looking at never popped up on my radar the original time. So I went back and went through the calculator that's provided through lsac.org, and I found this school. I had a roughly 50-50 shot of getting into the school based off my score and my GPA. So I went for it. And when I first applied, it's Western Michigan. When I first applied, I thought I was going to school in Michigan, but I had to correct that and Chantel let them know I was going to the Florida site in Tampa. So basically, why would I go to law school in Tampa? That's where the chips fell. That's where God's sending me. He's sending me to Tampa. So that's just something that I'm going to have to work with. I've always wanted to live in Florida or Tampa. Not Tampa, but Florida or Texas. So this is my way of being able to get out there and actually be in one of the states that I did say I want to be in. So since I'm going to be in Florida, of course I'm going to take the bar in Florida, but I'm also going to take the bar in Texas because at some point I do want to either retire to Texas or I may just say, hey, I want to take a case out of Texas. So that gives me that opportunity to get out there as well. But these past few weeks have been crazy. A lot of things have happened. A lot of things still have to happen over the course of the next 3 weeks before I get out here. That's literally all I have left, guys. I have 3 weeks before I actually leave Alabama and move to Tampa. And I'm a little nervous just because this is a major city. I've never lived in a major city. As much as I want to live in a major city, this is still a little bit nerve-wracking for me. I do have some friends that have recently moved down to the area. I have a frat brother that's down in the area. So I do know some people down there, but still, basically going to be down there kind of on my own. But I know that I can do this. I know that this is where God is sending me, and I know that He would not send me here without a plan and a purpose, and He wouldn't have gave me this opportunity if He knew I was going to squander it. So I'm definitely going to have to pull up my bootstraps, dive in, and just take it on head first and do what I got to do to make sure that I can not only start this process, but finish this process, graduate from law school, pass the bar in all the states that I want to practice in, and move forward. So I said all of that to say this. This is the end of the vlog, but this is a new way that I'm going to begin to end all my vlogs. So this is it. Set the tone. You set the tone for your day, your week, your month, and even your year. Don't allow anybody or anything to change how your week goes. You set the tone for it. You go out, you say, I'm going to have a great week. You do everything within your power to make sure that you have a great week. Don't let anybody or anything change that. You set the tone, and I'll see you all next time.
Doesn't matter what the problem is. Work it. Yeah, any type of situation.